Hey everybody, good evening. My name is Wendy, and this evening I'll be talking to Angelica, who make a new book, the Yoga Retreat, the Raw Yoga Retreat, because we're both part of an awesome raw vegan jungle. We are of a bundle of 50 plus books that are all full of raw recipes, all completely raw, all completely vegan. And in this bundle, there is the book also, Nice Cream 2.0, that's mine, and the book of Angelica about the yoga retreat. So she'll be joining us shortly, I think. Let's see how I can invite her. And let's see how we can do that. Her name is Yogalebrity and has been organizing yoga retreats for 16 years already. And I would love to know more about that.
Hey, how are you?
So here she is. Hi, Angelica. Welcome to my channel. So nice to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
So I'm just explaining to people about your book, and actually I completely read it because I'm super interested in doing a yoga retreat. I've never done one before, but I absolutely love yoga as a part of my regular habits, and I also kind of feel the philosophy behind that, and yeah, it resonates with me. A lot of it resonates with me, and so yeah, we're kind of like just getting to know each other. So I would like to ask you some questions about who you are, and yeah, you just told me where you're from, but you're from Nevada, but where you're originally from, how old you are, and yeah, then I would like to ask you something about yoga.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so I grew up in the Midwest part of the United States, and kind of in a variety of different areas there. And when I graduated from college, I decided to move to Las Vegas, Nevada. And so I've been living in Las Vegas for 25 years now, a very long time. But I travel a lot. So now I just have a storage unit in Las Vegas. I travel full time. Was living on a sailboat. Before that we were living in a caravan, and now we're living in a caravan again. So yeah, we love to travel. I am 46 years old. I'll be 47 next month. And I used to own the largest yoga studio in the state of Nevada. It's a 6,000 square foot studio with 2 practice rooms. I sold that in 2018, and it's still there. It has new owners, but all the same clients and a lot of the same teachers, and it's an incredible space. You can go there. It's called Sin City Yoga. So if you're ever in Las Vegas, hit it up. It's near the Las Vegas Strip.
I'll go find you. No, if I'm in Las Vegas, I'll come to visit you. No.
Well, I'm traveling all the time, so we're like never in Las Vegas, but
okay.
We stop by to get our stuff out of our storage and swap things out, or maybe see some friends. But for the most part, we're traveling. We're probably going to spend all winter in Arizona because the weather's really great. You can camp out in the desert for really, like, basically for nothing. It's like $180 for the whole winter for 6 months. So yeah, but you have to be self-sustaining. You have to be off grid. So we have a solar system on our caravan, and we go and get water and pump it in, and we have a composting toilet in our caravan. And
yep, looks like our truck. Sounds very familiar.
Yeah.
Super
so
cool.
We don't get access to the grid for electricity or anything. So you have to, you get to park there, and you have all this space and get to run around, and the dog gets to run around and have a good time. But yeah, so
great.
It's really awesome.
Yeah, great. I was just saying hello because I saw some people joining us, like Marjorie. I just want to say hi, Marjorie, and Fernando, and Kimia, and Tim. Like, hi, so nice for you guys to join. Just saying hi because, you know, we're there for you guys. So if you want to know anything about, I'm saying your name right, right? Angelica is your name, like, pronounce it correctly.
Yes, that's
And her
correct.
name's Govard, so that's Belgium. I just learned that. Or you want to ask me any questions, or about the raw vegan bundle, about yoga life, or about my book, Nice Cream, you can just ask that. So, and if you're super interested in like why there's all these lives going on, and I want to buy this bundle, I put my link here in the chat, and it's in my bio. And yeah, if you really love Angelica, you can go to her profile and get the bundle through her. So it's really who you want to support, actually. Okay, so I was going to look at your book, and now I see my computer close again. Okay, so in the book, it says like, I'm gonna start a retreat on Friday, right? And it ends on Saturday morning. Is that correct?
On Sunday. So I just
Sunday. So
in the book I put that you can start it on Friday and end it on Sunday. That gives you 2 nights. That's how I would do it if I was facilitating, or when I facilitate retreats. That's how we do it. It starts on Friday night and then ends on Sunday morning, because that's how people's work schedules are. But
yeah,
you can literally pick any day that you wanted. If you wanted to start on Monday and then end it on a Wednesday, whatever. Your whenever you have 2 days off that you can do it. You know, however.
So it's really like the spiritual weekends we used to, like, I'm saying used to do, because now I just do raw food festivals. But yeah, okay. So I was wondering, do you have any children?
No. I
Okay,
never wanted to have children. When my sister was born, I had to help take care of her. And I remember like taking her diapers out to the trash and being like, nope, this is not for me. I never want to have children. I never want stinky diapers in my life ever.
okay, I get it. Well, I'm just wondering to look like, okay, what am I gonna do with the kids, you know? Okay, I just have to go on a private vacation, I guess. And
well, if you have family that your children can stay with, I know when I was growing up, I loved to spend all my time with my grandma. Like, if I could have lived with my grandma all the time, I would have. That was my favorite place. I would do anything to just get like 10 minutes back with my grandma. She was such a wonderful human being. But you know, if you had, like, the idea of having a retreat is to really find some way to get out of your everyday comfort zone and out of the everyday routine and schedule, and truly be able to carve out time for yourself. And if that means, you know, if you have a partner or your children have another parent that they can go and stay with, or if you have family that they can stay with, or if you splurge and pay for a babysitter to take care of them, so that you can have this time to yourself. Because ultimately, what I have found running multiple businesses and working with lots of people and having a really high stress schedule is that if we do not take care of ourselves first, we will not be able to show up for anyone else. We have to ultimately love ourselves first, so that then we can love our children and we can love our partners and we can love the people in our lives, because true love starts inside and then emanates out.
yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. I had to learn that the hard way. I mean, I saw it so different between having it up there, knowing it, trying to implement it, and then run into a wall to see how you're actually supposed to implement that, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. So I was looking at your book, and you got all these different kind of yogas going on. And actually I absolutely, like, I never heard anything like that. So for people who are following me, they know that I love yoga and I can do some movements, and I originally a gymnastics teacher, so I'm very good with the stretching and the breathing and making your energy flow, because I can actually feel different stretches doing, or different poses doing something in your body and outside your body that makes your energy flow better, because I'm an energetic therapist. So I can feel that. But it would be interesting if you can share, like, what's these different, like, bhakti, and I thought it was somebody's last name, bhakti. So apparently it's yoga itself.
Bhakti means devotion. So, you know what's, I love that you brought up this question, because this is something that a lot of people don't know. So yoga is actually an 8-limbed path. So many people think that yoga is just what we call asana, which is postures. Yeah. These are the postures that we do. Yeah. And people think that's what yoga is. But actually, in the 8 steps of the yoga, it's only the 3rd step. The first step is the things that we should do. So the very first part of the first step of yoga is ahimsa, which means nonviolence, which is traditionally translated as not eating animals. And most people don't know that that's really important. And the yoga was really started by a man named, well, it goes a little bit further back, but it kind of became a big thing with a man named Patanjali, and he would give lectures about how to live a yogic lifestyle, and his students wrote it down, and that book became the Yoga Sutras. Mm-hmm. And in that book, he outlines how to be a yogi. And in the early 1900s, when India was occupied by the British, a man named Krishnamacharya started to entertain the British royalty and the British rich people by doing yoga postures. Originally, there were only 5 yoga postures. That's it. Mm-hmm. He integrated gymnastics and yoga to create like 91 yoga postures. So actually, what we do today is really gymnastics.
Oh, that's cool, because I'm good at that. So that's what people say. You're so good at yoga. I say, no, I'm good at gymnastics. I just do what you do. And so, the only difference is that I incorporate my breath a lot more and feel my body. That's the difference. And what I also do now, what I didn't do when I was doing, I did gymnastics at a pretty high level, is now I keep my mind, I keep to be in my body. I keep it to ground in my body and I use it to quiet my mind. While when I was doing gymnastics, I was proactively using my mind to, like, focusing. If you want to stretch, you want to stretch further. So my mind was focused on that. If you want to do a certain jump, you want to perfectionize the jump. So while you're waiting in line to do your jump, you already practiced the jump like 300 times in there before you actually do it. And I think that's a gigantic difference. So I understand the postures is half gymnastics, but I also feel that for people, a lot of people think what I do, like, oh, you do the asana, right? The posture, oh, you do yoga. See, now I do the same posture as I did then, but the feeling, the result, the purpose is different. Before it was to go someplace in gymnastics, and now it's to be me. So I don't know if I'm practicing yoga like you're supposed to teach it, but that's how it feels. What do you think?
So yes, you are, but what you're doing is pranayama. So the next steps in after asana, one of them is pranayama, which is breath control.
Yeah, I did that.
So the breath control can be done with the postures in what's called ujjayi breathing, or there are a number of different pranayamas that we can do just seated that help to move what's called prana, the life force energy through the body with this breath exercises. And so what we do today in the Western world really came from 2 men, Iyengar and Pattabhi Joy. Pattabhi Joy founded what's called Ashtanga yoga, which is like a fast moving yoga. So anytime you see any of these flow yogas like vinyasa, these all came from Pattabhi Joy, who was a student of Krishnamacharya's. And then anytime you see more static hold yogas where like we talk about Hatha or Anusara yoga. These yogas come from Iyengar and the Iyengar way, who he wrote a book called Light on Yoga that a lot of people use in the yoga community. But in the introduction to Light on Yoga that many people skip, they just go to the postures. In the introduction to Light on Yoga, he actually talks about what are the 8 limbs of yoga and how to achieve these different steps. And he says that you cannot reach the 8th level, which is samadhi, ultimate enlightenment. You cannot get there without first practicing the first level, which is ahimsa, vegetarianism. The yogis mostly do it, traditional yogis mostly do vegetarianism because cows are different in India than what they are here. But all of these yogas really were created for Western people, because Iyengar met a man that was from Austria that played the violin, Yuri Mendelin, and that guy taught him yoga, and then he brought it to Europe, and then it came to the United States.
And they're still good practices, right? Like, no matter if they're created for whom, right?
There are a lot of, so the yoga of India is really bhakti, which is devotion. Right. So the bhakti yoga is chanting and singing and adoration of the gods. There are many different gods in Hindu philosophy, but when you go to India, and I've traveled to India, and you experience yoga there, it's very, very different than what we do. So when people, when people talk about being true to Indian yoga, well, what we do, yoga asana, isn't even close to what they do at all. They don't do anything like that. And their asana practices are very, very different than ours. They're much more erratic movements. But most Indians that practice yoga practice bhakti, which is singing and chanting to Hindu gods. And it's meant to bring this state of enlightenment and help you to reach samadhi and oneness with God by singing and chanting.
So can I say then that it's like a meditation practice?
It is. It's like a singing meditation.
So when I'm, or somebody else is putting a really nice song, which got like, I don't even know what language they make them in, but it's got this repetitive thing going on for like 10 minutes. And it's a really nice calming background, and you got this repetitive sounds going on, and you just sing along with the thing for 10 minutes, and after some minutes you're just lost in the sound and you're just like blissed, like for me it's like,
yeah, so
they're called,
the songs are called bhajans.
Okay.
And the style of singing is called kirtan, which is like a call and response. So I would say like Om Namah Shivaya. And
that stuff.
Like Om Namah Shivaya. And we would go back and forth like this for a long time. And what that's saying is like, I adore you, Shiva. And we would sing like that, and you would be drawing in the power of Shiva. Or if you were doing like Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And then you would say that. And so then we would be drawing in the power of Krishna. Right. And usually the tempo will change through the song, but the words will stay the same. And so there's a lot of different bhajans, and there's a lot of different interpretations musically of them. And of course, bhakti in the United States and in Europe is very different than bhakti in India, but we both use harmoniums. And I do play harmonium, and when I saw that instrument, I was like, I must learn to play it. And so I bought one, and I love doing kirtan. So I really wanted to include that as part of the book, because there are so many different styles of yoga. There are so many different types of yoga. And I think it's important to, people will say, well, I tried yoga, I didn't like it. I'm like, did you try all of the different thousands of styles of yoga that there are out there? I don't think so. They went to a hot yoga class, like, I didn't like it. Well, that's not even really yoga. That's like something that a man made up in Boston and decided to sell to Americans because he knew that it would make money. He changed the names of the poses. He changed the way the poses are done.
Okay.
And so and so it's not even
Okay.
like a traditional form of yoga. It's okay if people want to do that and they like it. That's great. That's their choice. But it's definitely not Indian yoga. And
Yeah.
it doesn't come from the original lineage of yoga
Mm-hmm.
whatsoever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's interesting. But, this is because I've been studying this for 35 years.
I understand. Then you're the expert in that. Like I learned what I learned from you and from your book is that, and also sort of already knew and suspected that a lot of things that come natural to me that I've been doing in the past. Also, well, I'm 39 and I started when I was in school, so 98. So that's also like 20 something years. That a lot of these things have their origin in India, or their origin in Japan, or their origin in yoga and Eastern health practices, basically. And so, for example, these songs, I just found them one day, and it was not, I mean, like, when it's like, you feel like, for me, when it feels like a real, like a prayer, like for Krishna or something, then I don't listen to that. But like some other ones I do. And that would, like, for example, also breath work, that also, like, I've been starting to do that and been doing that a lot since I got pregnant. And not the traditional pregnancy breath work, but the calming breath work, and the making your energy go around and holding it in certain places and seeing the effect on the different chakras and the meridians and the places in your body, and how you can use that to your aura. And like, that are some things I don't know, I just got them some books when I was in secondary school, and just started doing that, and starting people and meeting people who did that, and just talk about that. For me, it's like something I've grown up with. And now it turns out there is this whole philosophy of yoga, and this, I learned that a lot of that comes from this background. And I think they're all very beneficial for your health. So I love that your book is inside our raw vegan bundle, really. And to share that you share your information here on the channel, because it's not just recipe books in there. We know that now. There's also this real cool retreat book in there, and it's got some great suggestions. Sorry, sometimes it comes in Dutch. Suggestions on books.
That's okay. You think in your native language.
Yes, sometimes I do.
I've been studying French and Spanish for a long time, and I try to think in the language, and I like sometimes I think in French, and then I'm like, oh yes, I'm finally starting to get it.
Yes, usually I think in English, but when I'm speaking Dutch is worse. I start English all the time in between without knowing that I'm doing it. So, and it's so cool because you got Caroline Miss in there, and I got all their books and all the CDs, and there's The Alchemist. I still have it. I still haven't read it. So there's some really cool.
You haven't read The Alchemist?
No, I didn't read it yet.
Oh.
But
that will change your life. That book will change your life.
And I basically did everything from Tony Robbins, and this book of Joe Dispenza, I started that as well. So it's really, I love your suggestions, and there are more suggestions in there, and there's suggestions for like drinks and like hydrating waters that you really need in the desert in Nevada and also in Arizona. So I think your book's very valuable for people, and I'm pretty sure I'll read it again, like really in depth, because I'm really excited about that. And maybe you'll consider coming to the Dutch Fruit Festival someday.
Well, we love the Netherlands, we do, and we usually go once a year to visit one of my best friends lives in Haarlem. Oh. And then I have another friend in Amsterdam, right on the canal down by the Jewish Museum. He has one of the skinny buildings. He has a condo in there. Uh-huh. And I usually go and visit them every year, but because, borders have been closed and, non-essential travel, we have not been able to go, but hopefully we'll be able to go very soon.
Well, I can promise you from all this year, my last year and a half, you can make a lot of things essential travel. Really, you can just tell them. They ask you at the border. You say, where are you going? And then you say Portugal or whatever. Why? I live there. But why are you Dutch place? Well, I got renting somewhere. Ah. So it's essential you go there. Yeah, of course, live there. Then they say, oh, okay, I live it to go. Like I have that all the time. They really ask, is it essential? You say yes. Where are you going? You say where you're going. Simple. And they don't ask why or how or whatever. Just so I don't know if it's possible, but if you would, like we had a lot of people this year, it was really a challenge because we were in lockdown and, you know, festivals were illegal and things like that. But we were really able to do our Dutch Fruit Festival retreat. And yeah, if you feel like considering it, anytime you are going to come over to Europe, think about us. I must say that I do not have a lack of yoga teachers proposing to do yoga. I actually have too many, but a lot of them are like you say, they just teach a pose and that's it. And I really love what we shared now about how you can use yoga and all the different natural health practices there are to help your body and help yourself to be happy and healthy. And that's really what I want to give to the people that come there. So, and I feel that you could, you know, you could contribute to that enormously. So I'm really happy that I am able to meet you like this.
I'm really glad to meet you too. Thank you so much for having me on your live today. And I just wanted to say one last thing.
Go ahead.
Have you tried Kundalini yoga before?
Yeah.
Because it sounds like you would love it.
I love it. I did actually Kundalini. I did. It's not really completely Kundalini yoga because it's an abstract. Did you say that abstract for pregnant women and women who just gave birth? Because some things you cannot do, right? But my teacher during the pregnancy is actually a Kundalini, originally Kundalini yoga teacher, and I love it.
Yeah, when you talk about energy work and breath and you know, movement with breath, and that they really, you know, in the chakras, and it's really phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. Well, my teacher was Russian, so I wasn't really following what she was saying, but it's really, I've done other energetic healers, and I've done a lot of courses and made a lot of other therapists before I became a therapist. And I did that because in the end, I found out that I know way more, and I did way more than the average therapist I was asking for help. So I really have to go to an expert to ask for help if I cannot fix it anymore. And actually, I'm really happy that they all couldn't help me. Because of that, I chose to go raw vegan, and it worked. So
that's awesome. That's awesome.
So that's just a little, you know, little detail. Yeah, so I'm not really on a time limit, but we're scheduled until 7, so that's now. And,
yeah, I have to run. I have another appointment, but I so appreciate you having me on today. It's been really amazing to talk to you.
And I just want to say one last thing, that they can, like, people can follow you. You can see Healthy by Wendy, and then you see Yogalebrity. And then you can follow both of us if you like, for in the future. And if you are now really eager to get these 54 books, including our exclusive holiday book, choose the person where you want to buy the books of, click the link in our bio, go there and enjoy all that we've just been talking about. And then, Angelica, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hope that we can meet again soon.
I'll see you later.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.